So, and also as we are approaching the 5 o'clock hour, I just wanted to remind anyone who still has not taken advantage of the bonus offer. Brian has put a link to the bonus offer where you can get both a free advanced reader copy of the current almost published version of Retire Secure for Professors, which is actually just represents the most comprehensive book for people with large IRAs and retirement plans that Jim and our firm has ever compiled, and also includes a lot of very good information for people who have TIAA or CRAF accounts specifically, or who are professors. But it's a great book, and we're also going to send you a hardcover copy completely free of charge when it's published. So if you would like to take advantage of that, click that link that Brian just put into the chat there. As we take our last few questions, I wanted to remind people of that, and to remind people that if you are interested in an appointment with Jim, especially if you'd like to get your appointment in the new year, close to early January, you should definitely fill out that form as soon as possible. And Erin will be calling you to get the process of getting your appointment scheduled in motion. So Jim, this next question, I wanted to ask it because it's a question that we get in some form a lot. And I think that you have a very strong opinion about this. So an anonymous attendee said, I live in PA. If I move to Nevada, will I need to have my PA wills and trusts and estate plan redrafted?
Well, I don't know about Nevada specifically. This is what I will say. The differences between the states are relatively minor in many, if not most, situations. Nevada might have their own power of attorney that they like a little bit better. On the other hand, the PA power of attorney should work in the vast majority of cases, either for healthcare or for financial, for money, a more traditional power of attorney. Let me tell you what often happens, and this happened not very long ago. I got a note from somebody that said, hey, Jim, I really enjoyed working with you when we were Pennsylvania residents, but we moved to state X, and I went to see an estate attorney in state X, and he drafted the enclosed documents. Would you please review them and tell me what you think I should do? And they were a complete mess. And my answer was, yeah, you should tear these up because the documents that we did were just fine. So I would say that if you have a well-drafted set of documents with some minor differences, they should work in every state. Now, the proper legal advice is you should find an estate attorney in that state, maybe check on the powers of attorney. But my fear is that you're going to go from, well, if we did the documents, it's going to sound a little self-serving. You're going to go from a really well-drafted estate plan to a badly drafted estate plan just because you switch states, and it's probably not necessary. The proper legal answer would probably be, yes, you should establish a relationship with an estate attorney in the state that you're going to live in, and that way they can also be of help after a death. We can't do estate administration in Nevada. That said, if we have a client, particularly a lifelong client, although to me, if a client is a client, and unless there's a good reason, I kind of consider them a lifelong client, and they move to Nevada and die, I actually want to be involved because I'm not going to trust some Nevada state attorney to come up with the right issues on disclaimers. I want to do that myself. If I planned for a beneficiary to make a Roth IRA conversion of an inherited 401k, I want to be involved, even if I'm not the estate attorney of record. If there is, there's a lot of situations where we could do very effective post-mortem planning, and though typically that would fall under the legal area where we're not licensed to practice law in Nevada, I would say, no, that's financial area, and we can provide that advice. So long-winded answer is usually you want the best, set of documents and the best thinking behind it. Although there are some differences in state law. So for example, somebody mentioned Massachusetts and a special needs trust. So Pennsylvania, you could have something called a toggle, which we really like. Well, in Massachusetts, you can't have a toggle. So the documents had to be changed. So again, it's best to have a local estate attorney, but if you're going to do that, make sure that the estate attorney knows what they're going to do. And if you have somebody that you trust, it wouldn't be a terrible idea to say, hey, these are the documents that the estate attorney proposed. What do you think? And 9 times out of 10, I'm not happy with what I see from most any other estate attorneys, which is one of the reasons why I teamed up with the right estate attorney, who I like the way they draft and the network that they have when you have a child with a special need or a disability.
And why our in-house team, at least for PA residents, is just top notch at drafting estate planning for families with largest retirement and estate retirement funds.
I mean, I think that they're wonderful for people who are not state residents. They just can't do the drafting.
Exactly, that's true.
But we do the review, and most of it's pretty bad. And we're in the IRA area, and particularly if the underlying assets in IRA and the beneficiaries of trust, it's really bad, and it can be hundreds of thousands of dollars or $1 million or more. So you want to get that right, and it usually isn't.
So you want to get it reviewed by somebody who knows what they're doing, huh?
I think so. And to me, what bothers me so much is sometimes these are the big firms, in big cities. The name, I don't want to name names, but even some of the firms in Pittsburgh that we've reviewed their documents. I'm like, wait, I thought these guys were top-notch estate attorneys. And maybe they are if you have a business or something, but not if you have $1 million IRA.
So I have a final question for you, and also a reminder that we have a video that will play at the end of the webinar. I know we have not been able to address everyone's questions, but I hope that we were able to get to most of them, and I hope that everyone got a lot of value out of these. So the last question, Jim, I thought it would be appropriate for it to be about Roths. This is from Ajay, and he asks, it seems like the bottom line for Roth conversion is tax arbitrage. If taxes are lower now and higher in the future, it's better to convert to Roth. If taxes are higher now and lower in the future, it's better not to convert. Are there any other factors that make Roth conversions desirable if it means paying a higher tax rate now than in the future?
Well, first, I'm going to dispute the premise. It's not arbitrage. When we have done our tax calculations, we typically, at least we started doing it, assuming that there weren't going to be any changes. So if you were to go back in our literature, our peer-reviewed analysis that appeared in the Tax Advisor, so this isn't me just whistling Dixie, this has been peer-reviewed by some of the top CPAs in the country. Most of the analysis doesn't assume a tax increase. It assumes taxes are steady. In fact, most of the analysis that we even did today, when I showed, okay, you'll be this much better off if you do a Roth and your kids will be this much better off, that didn't even take into account the tax increases in 2026. So I'm going to dispute the initial premise that it's tax arbitrage, meaning that you're either betting that the tax rates are going to go up or they're going to go down. The fact that I believe the tax rates in the long run are going to go up is an additional reason. So without knowing the exact numbers, let's say for discussion's sake, I think in one case, I said if you converted at 62, you were $1.2 million better off when you were 85. That assumes a flat tax rate or a no change. If, on the other hand, you say, okay, we're going to include the likely tax changes that are going to come in 2026, then instead of being $1.2 million, you might be $1.8 million better off. So I am going to dispute the premise. Are there other factors? Sure. And I think we talked about a lot of them. Do you have the money to pay the tax? What are your future tax rates for getting tax changes, but are you going to be in a much higher tax bracket in the future because your minimum required distribution is going to go up and up and up? Are you going to be in a higher tax bracket in the future because right now you're married and one day one of you is going to die, the other's spouse is going to survive, and they're going to have to pay taxes as a single, which by itself is going to be a tax raise. So you want to get your tax conversion done while you're both kicking. Again, what is the impact on Medicare Part B? Do you have a child with a disability? Do you have a child in a low bracket? Do you have a child in a high bracket? What state are you in? What state are your kids going to live in? You have all these factors, but so they're all important, some more than others, but I am going to take the liberty of disputing the premise of the question. Hope you're not offended, but I'm not gonna, I can't sit back and have somebody disillusioned. Roths are great without any tax changes for the rest of eternity, but they're even better because I believe, and most of the people, by the way, because when I did the in-person workshops, which I did for years, I would often poll people who thinks tax rates are going to go up. Practically everybody raised their hand. So again, I will thank everybody. It's been a long day. I get energized for it, and I love it. This has been a fun day for me. I really strongly encourage you, take advantage of the bonuses, get the digital version of the book, look at the table of contents, read what's relevant, get the hard copy version of the book, because that's even going to be better and it's going to have longer lasting value. If you think that we would be a good fit to do business with, take advantage of the offer for the free consultation. I assume Brian is going to put both offers, that is for the free information and for the free consultation, in the chat. I promise you I will not take you as a client unless I think I can really provide a lot of value and it'll be a good experience for both you and I. Erica, you usually talk about the video and any other loose ends, so I will let you do that. But I will thank everybody for attending. I couldn't do what I do if it weren't for you. I am very lucky. We had hundreds of people on with no Facebook advertising at all. So this was just purely from our internal list. I am very grateful. We had a good turnout. We had a lot of people sign up for consultations. Erica, by the way, mentioned you can get it after year end. We still have some before year end. And frankly, if I were in a position that made a difference, I'd want to do it before year end because we might come up with a Roth conversion. In fact, the one that's booked already, we know that they have a Roth issue and they want an answer before year end. And that's why we're going to do it before year end. So again, I will thank everybody. Sign up for the consultation if appropriate. Sign up for the free information, the book, and the book on the Secure Act. And Erica, am I missing anything else? Or do you have a few final words before we run the video?
No, you did an excellent job, Jim. I have nothing to add. Just thanks so much for attending. And it was great to spend this time with all of you.
All right, thanks.
Allow me to ask you some important questions. Is the majority of your wealth in an IRA or retirement plan? Do you want to protect yourself and your family from massive income tax acceleration? Are you at least slightly concerned that the new administration is going to raise your taxes? Are you willing to take action and defend yourself from government confiscation of your hard-earned money? If you answered yes, This short video could be the most important thing you have ever watched. Imagine you could wave a magic wand and have a rock-solid financial master plan that has all of your financial affairs in order, including updated wills, trusts, and IRA beneficiary designations. Think about how you would feel if you never had to worry about money, because you had rock-solid data that allowed you to make informed financial decisions, not guesses. How much better would you sleep at night knowing that your new financial master plan will be completely implemented in 3 to 6 months from now? I'm going to share with you how you can make that happen. But first, let's talk about the possible impact this administration could have on your finances. Thus far, President Biden has kept his promise not to increase income taxes for people earning less than $400,000 per year. But raising income tax rates isn't the only way to raise taxes. Jim Lange predicted the death of the Stretch IRA and advocated defenses against it more than 6 years ago. Now Jim predicts 1. Higher capital gains tax rates. 2. Changes to federal tax exemptions. 3. Elimination of step-up in basis rules. 4. Tax raises in the future that are already part of today's law with the sunset provisions. And 5. Estate tax increases. Congress pulled a bait and switch on you, and it's just plain wrong. You were promised that contributions to your IRA and retirement plans would pass to your heirs with significant tax advantages. Remember the Stretch IRA? Because you're fiscally responsible, you acted on that promise. You sacrificed and did without so you could put as much money as you could into your retirement plans. Now, late in the game, Congress has pulled the rug out from under you by passing the Secure Act. The consequence of Congress's actions with the Secure Act? A massive income tax acceleration on money you thought was protected. But there is a way for you to fight back and protect your wealth from the Congress's greedy hands. We can offer you the means and the tools to pull back some of that money. There is no one strategy that will solve all of these problems. Of the multiple strategies, Jim and his team will help you find the right ones for you and your family. Here are just a few of the strategies in Jim's arsenal. A series of timely Roth IRA conversions to be executed over a number of years. Social Security optimization. Spending the right money first. Low-cost index fund investing. Appropriate asset location. The right type of trusts for your particular situation. Flexible estate plans. Leveraging gifts to children and grandchildren. Charitable remainder trusts as the beneficiary of your IRA and other retirement plans. And our tax-savvy analysis of who gets what. When you meet with Jim, he may propose implementing the superbly flexible Lange's Cascading Beneficiary Plan. Its flexibility, 1. Protects your spouse. 2. Allows for the possibility of directing money to your children after the first death. And 3. Allows for the possibility of directing money to your grandchildren with parents as trustees. These options are not available with traditional planning. Lange's Cascading Beneficiary Plan is really an estate planning system that should be considered for virtually all of your assets. It works for wills and revocable trusts, IRAs and retirement plans, Roth IRAs, and Lange's Cascading Beneficiary Plan is only one tool in Jim's arsenal. So, if you are seriously interested in placing at least $1 million of your investable assets under management with Jim and his team, the first step toward peace of mind and a good night's sleep is to schedule a Retire Secure consultation with Jim Lange. During your 1-hour private Zoom consultation with Jim, you'll discover how to cut your taxes and preserve your wealth. Jim will answer all your questions and concerns, and likely suggest 2 or more tax-reducing strategies you hadn't thought about. Jim takes a multidisciplinary approach to securing your retirement. He accounts for taxes, legal, and investments. Jim has given thousands of consultations over the years and has never had anyone say or even imply that it wasn't worth their time. Why? Because Jim delivers real-world value and not a sales pitch. At the end of your Retire Secure consultation, you will have the outline for a concrete plan of action to maximize your retirement prosperity and generational wealth. Then you will have 2 options. 1, you will thank Jim for his time and valuable recommendations and most likely end up doing nothing. Or 2, you'll decide that you want your family to benefit from the comprehensive combined services that Jim and his team provide to their assets under management clients. And when you select option 2, Jim and his team will run full retirement and estate planning projections, producing your personalized financial master plan. Then Jim's team will help you implement the plan and manage at least a portion of your assets. The Personal Financial Master Plan is included for free, and that Personal Financial Master Plan will be updated every year at no additional cost, provided you place a minimum of $1 million in assets under management. A no-obligation Retire Secure consultation with Jim will likely provide you with at least one idea worth $10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. You can get it now for free, without obligation. The purpose of the Retire Secure consultation isn't to sell you. It is to determine if you are the right fit to work with Jim and his team. Please note that Jim will not take you on as a client unless he thinks he can save you and your family many times his fee. Jim only has a limited number of slots in his schedule reserved for these free Retire Secure consultations, and there are hundreds of attendees on this virtual event. Since Jim personally conducts each consultation, he will almost certainly not have enough available appointments to fulfill demand. So, if you are seriously interested in reaping the benefits of our combined asset management and long-term financial planning services, act now. Click the offer link and complete the form to secure your free Retire Secure consultation with Jim Lange. Plus, when you schedule your consultation now, you'll also receive a special free gift in the mail, a Retire Secure education kit. Inside, you'll find a wealth of educational material, including books, articles, DVDs, and CDs that we encourage you to review before your consultation, if time permits. To reserve your consultation now, click on the offer link and complete the form. Listen, with the uncertainty in the country, it's natural to be concerned about your financial future. But with proper planning, you can protect yourself and your family from massive taxation, get the most out of what you have, and maximize retirement prosperity and generational wealth. And the first step is simple and free. Click on the offer link and reserve your Retire Secure consultation with Jim Lange. Don't wait and be disappointed. Request your free Retire Secure consultation now by clicking on the offer link